Welcome to Golden Flame Stars, a place where we celebrate the lives and endurance of rock legends. Through chaos, fame, and struggle, they've shaped generations with their sound and spirit. Today, we honor these iconic musicians whose stories of passion, pain, and perseverance still echo through the heart of rock and roll. Tell us, which rock legend inspires you the most? Alice Cooper earned fame as the godfather of shock rock, blending horror, theater, and rock into electrifying stage shows with guillotines, fake blood, and live snakes. Once struggling with alcohol and drug addiction, he later battled COVID-19 in 2020, which weakened his health. Now 77, he suffers from hearing loss after decades of loud performances and relies on hearing aids to communicate clearly. Ian Anderson, born on August 10, 1947, frontman and flutist of Jethro Tull, he fused rock with folk and classical influences to create one of the most distinctive sounds in music. Now 78, he battles chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which often makes performing physically demanding. A multi-instrumental prodigy, Edgar Winter blended rock, jazz, and blues into groundbreaking hits like Frankenstein. At 78, he continues to face mobility issues and the natural strain of aging after decades on stage. Despite these challenges, his humor and passion for music remain unshaken as he honors his late brother Johnny. As the heart of Grand Funk Railroad, Mark Farner helped define 1970s arena rock. At 76, he deals with ongoing back and leg pain from decades on stage. Despite surgeries and limited mobility, he continues performing with faith and fiery determination. The voice of the Guess Who, Burton Cummings, gave rock classics like American Woman and These Eyes Their Soul. Now 77, he faces vocal strain and mobility challenges after a serious car accident. Yet his enduring spirit keeps him connected to fans and the music he loves. Former frontman of Styx, Dennis DeYoung's powerful voice defined hits like Come Sail Away and Babe. Now 78, he has retired from touring due to health concerns and vocal fatigue. Still, he remains proud of a career that brought theatrical rock to millions. A pioneer of early rock and roll, Dion Francis de Mookie rose to fame with hits like Runaround Sue and The Wanderer. In later years, he turned to blues and spiritual music, reflecting a lifetime of faith and recovery. At 85, he continues creating from home, despite age-related health limitations. As co-founder of the Eagles, Don Henley gave voice to timeless songs like Hotel California and Desperado. Now 78, he performs less frequently as age and exhaustion from decades of touring have taken their toll. Though he battles chronic back pain and fatigue, his soulful lyrics still reflect wisdom and endurance. Joe Walsh, the legendary Eagles guitarist and solo artist behind Life's Been Good, has lived through addiction, chaos, and recovery. At 77, he stays sober after decades battling substance abuse. Though age and hearing loss affect him, he uses his journey to help others facing the same demons. The ethereal voice of Yes, John Anderson brought progressive rock to new heights with Owner of a Lonely Heart. Now 80. He copes with chronic back pain and respiratory challenges that limit long tours. Still, his gentle optimism and spiritual outlook keep him active in music and art. Lindsey Buckingham, Fleetwood Mac's brilliant guitarist and songwriter, endured both creative triumphs and personal turmoil. At 75, he continues recovering from open-heart surgery performed in 2019, which temporarily affected his voice. Though weakened, his resilience and artistry remain at the heart of his enduring fame. Glam, the powerful voice behind Foreigner's hits like I Wanna Know What Love Is, faced serious health struggles. Now 74, he lives with lasting effects from a brain tumor removed in the late 1990s. Though his stamina has declined, his spirit and gratitude for life remain strong. Known for his folk classic Alice's Restaurant, Arlo Guthrie carried on his father Woody's storytelling spirit. Now 78, he retired from touring after suffering several strokes in 2020. Though his voice has grown softer, his songs still echo the ideals of peace and protest. As the last surviving BG, Barry Gibb's falsetto helped define the sound of the 1970s. Now 79, he battles arthritis and chronic back pain, but remains active in the studio. Despite the years, his love for music continues to shine through every note he sings. The genius behind the Beach Boys' harmonies, Brian Wilson, shaped modern pop with Pet Sounds. Now 83, he lives under conservatorship due to dementia and other health issues. Though frail, his legacy of sound innovation continues to inspire musicians worldwide. Frankie Valli, the soaring falsetto behind Can't Take My Eyes Off You and Sherry, helped define the sound of pop music. Now 91, he struggles with partial hearing loss and other age-related health problems, but still performs selectively. His remarkable resilience and lifelong devotion to music keep his legacy vibrant and unforgettable. The angelic voice of Simon and Garfunkel. Art Garfunkel gave the world timeless ballads like Bridge Over Troubled Water. Now 83, he struggles with vocal cord damage that has limited his singing in recent years. Despite this, he remains grateful for his legacy and continues to write poetry and prose. Courtney Love, born July 9, 1964, emerged in the 1990s grunge scene with Hole, though rooted in 1980s punk. Now 61, she battled addiction and health issues, but has stabilized. Her raw honesty and defiant artistry cement her as one of rock's most polarizing icons. CeCe DeVille, born May 14, 1962, fueled Poison's flashy sound with high-octane guitar solos. Now 63, he overcame drug addiction that nearly cost his career. Healthy and reformed, he still performs with the same flamboyant energy that defined 1980s glam rock. Steve Perry, born January 22, 1949, gave Journey its soaring voice in classics like Don't Stop Believin'. Now 76, he overcame hip surgery and a long battle with depression. Though retired from touring, his emotive voice still resonates with millions worldwide. Annie Lennox, born December 25, 1954, mesmerized with her androgynous style and hits like Sweet Dreams. Now 70, she manages menopause-related health struggles but remains strong. A humanitarian as well as an artist, she continues to inspire beyond music's stage. Pat Benatar, born January 10, 1953, soared in the late 1970s with powerful hits like Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Now 72, she manages aging-related health challenges but remains active. Her fierce voice and defiant spirit make her a trailblazer for women in rock. Ted Nugent, born December 13, 1948, is famed for his blistering guitar solos and outspoken personality. Now 76, he has dealt with hearing loss from decades of loud concerts. Still performing, his survivalist energy and political edge keep him in the spotlight. Tommy Lee, born October 3, 1962, shocked the world with his wild drumming and scandals. Now 62, he has managed hepatitis C and years of excess. Despite age, his energy remains high, and he still pounds the drums with signature fury. David Lee Roth, born October 10, 1954, became Van Halen's flamboyant frontman. Now 70, he has faced back and health issues from decades of wild performances. Despite slowing down, his iconic energy and stage antics still define the glory of 1980s hard rock. Joan Jett, born September 22, 1958, became an icon with I Love Rock and Roll. Now 66, she has faced vocal strain but remains in strong health. Her rebellious edge and fearless attitude still inspire generations of punk and rock musicians. David Coverdale, born September 22, 1951, fronted Whitesnake with soulful power and glam style. Now 73, he has endured vocal cord surgery and aging challenges. Semi-retired from touring, he still records occasionally, leaving behind a legacy of arena-shaking rock anthems. Nancy Wilson, born March 16, 1954, electrified stages with Heart's signature riffs and harmonies. Now 71, she manages age-related stamina issues but continues to perform. Her blend of fierce guitar work and elegance makes her an enduring symbol of women in rock. Sting, born October 2, 1951, achieved fame with the Police before a successful solo career. Now 73, he practices yoga and healthy living, which keep him strong. Though he faced back issues, his voice and artistry remain remarkably youthful and timeless. Bruce Springsteen, born September 23, 1949, is the boss, beloved for Heartland anthems and marathon shows. Now 75, he has managed depression and recently battled ulcer disease. Yet his songs and spirit still inspire millions, keeping him an American rock legend. Bob Dylan, born May 24, 1941, is now 84 and revered for poetic anthems like Blowin' in the Wind. After heart troubles in the 1990s, he stabilized. His artistry and protest voice still echo as a cornerstone of modern music. Rod Stewart, born January 10, 1945, rose to fame with Maggie May and his unforgettable raspy tone. Now 80, he has beaten thyroid and prostate cancer. Despite age and aching joints, his charisma and energy continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Ronnie Wood, born June 1, 1947, joined the Rolling Stones in 1975 and became their fiery guitarist. Now 78, he twice survived lung cancer. His resilience and lively stage presence prove why he remains an essential force in rock history. And Wilson, born June 19, 1950, rose to fame as Heart's powerful lead vocalist. Now 75, she has overcome struggles with weight and substance abuse. Her health is stable, and her voice remains one of the most commanding sounds in classic rock. Gene Simmons, born August 25, 1949, gained fame as the fire-breathing bassist of Kiss. Now 76, he endured kidney stone surgeries but enjoys good health. Musician, businessman, and showman, Simmons still represents the enduring spectacle and theater of rock. Jon Bon Jovi, born March 2, 1962, became a global star with anthems like Livin' on a Prayer. Now 63, he faced vocal cord issues requiring surgery. Though touring less, his enduring charisma and songwriting still shine as symbols of 1980s rock glory. Richie Sambora, born July 11, 1959, powered Bon Jovi's sound with fiery guitar riffs and harmonies. Now 66, he struggled with alcoholism but has been in recovery for years. His health is steady, and his musicianship continues to earn deep respect. Joe Elliott, born August 1, 1959, led Def Leppard with soaring vocals through Hysteria and beyond. Now 66, he has battled vocal cord strain yet remains active on stage. His stamina and dedication prove his status as one of hard rock's great survivors. Nikki Sixx, born December 11, 1958, lived through heroin overdoses and chaos as Motley Crue's bassist. Now 66, clean and healthy, he balances family life with writing and music. His survival story stands as one of rock's most dramatic transformations. Axl Rose, born February 6, 1962, became notorious for explosive performances and feuds. Now 63, he has coped with vocal damage and aging stamina. Yet his iconic voice and unpredictable stage presence keep him a compelling figure in hard rock. Slash, born July 23, 1965, gave Guns N' Roses its iconic riffs, most famously in Sweet Child O' Mine. Now 60, he once struggled with alcoholism and heart failure, but is sober and healthy. His guitar genius remains one of rock's defining voices. Grace Slick, born October 30, 1939, voice of Jefferson Airplane. At 85, she retired due to severe arthritis and health challenges. Though no longer performing, her legacy as a fearless female rock pioneer continues to inspire. Ray Davies, born June 21, 1944, songwriter and leader of the Kinks. At 81, he deals with lingering injuries from past health scares and age-related weakness. He still writes and occasionally performs, maintaining his sharp wit and rock legacy. Ringo Starr, born July 7, 1940, drummer of the Beatles and peace advocate. At 85, he lives with arthritis that affects his drumming but stays active. He continues touring with his all-star band, spreading joy through music. Paul Simon, born October 13, 1941, singer-songwriter of Simon and Garfunkel. At 83, he suffers from significant hearing loss that limits live performances. Nevertheless, he still records new music, showing remarkable dedication to his craft. Paul McCartney, born June 18, 1942, legendary Beatle and songwriter. At 83, he manages reduced stamina and age-related hearing issues, yet remains musically vibrant. He continues to record new projects and perform live, proving his resilience and timeless creativity. Jimmy Page, born January 9, 1944, guitarist of Led Zeppelin. At 81, he faces arthritis and age-related decline, limiting public appearances. Though he rarely tours, he remains musically active, preserving his guitar legacy through recordings and projects. Pete Townsend, born May 19, 1945, guitarist of The Who. At 80, he copes with long-term hearing loss from years of loud performances. Still, he continues recording and touring, keeping The Who's fiery spirit alive on stage. Jorma Kaukonen, born December 23, 1940, guitarist of Jefferson Airplane and Hot Tuna. At 84, he faces arthritis and hand issues from decades of playing. Still, he continues to tour actively, admired for his blues rock guitar artistry. Jack Cassidy, born April 13, 1944, bassist of Jefferson Airplane and Hot Tuna. At 81, he copes with age-related health issues, but stays musically active. He continues to perform with Hot Tuna, proving bass lines can echo for a lifetime. Roger McGuinn, born July 13, 1942, frontman of the Byrds. At 83, he experiences mobility challenges and vision issues linked to aging. Despite these, he still tours and records, keeping folk rock's jangling spirit alive. Mick Jagger, born July 26, 1943, iconic Rolling Stones frontman. At 82, he recovered from heart valve surgery in 2019 and still battles age-related aches. Yet his energy remains unmatched as he tours worldwide with extraordinary vitality. Keith Richards, born December 18, 1943, guitarist of the Rolling Stones. At 81, he endures arthritis and lingering damage from decades of heavy smoking and substance use. Despite it, he continues to record and perform, embodying rock's ultimate survivor spirit. Bob Dylan, born May 24, 1941, Nobel Prize-winning songwriter. At 84, he manages age-related frailty and vocal changes, though still recording albums. His legendary touring schedule continues, making him one of rock's most enduring figures. Roger Daltrey, born March 1, 1944, frontman of The Who. At 81, he overcame vocal cord surgery and partial hearing loss. He remains energetic on stage, continuing to tour and prove the power of rock resilience. Eric Clapton, born March 30, 1945, guitar legend known as Slow Hand. At 80, he suffers from peripheral neuropathy, causing nerve pain and reduced mobility. Despite struggles, he still performs select concerts, sharing his blues rock brilliance. Art Garfunkel, born November 5, 1941, the angelic voice of folk rock. At 83, he struggles with vocal strain and reduced range from age. He performs occasionally, cherishing his role as one of music's most timeless voices. Roger Waters, born September 6, 1943, co-founder of Pink Floyd. At 81, he copes with hearing loss and stamina issues from age. Still, he remains politically outspoken and continues performing elaborate live shows globally. David Gilmour, born March 6, 1946, iconic Pink Floyd guitarist. At 79, he faces arthritis and reduced stamina, yet still records new projects. He occasionally tours, his guitar tone continuing to inspire generations of rock fans. Donovan, born May 10, 1946, Scottish folk rock poet. At 79, he faces frailty and reduced stamina, but remains creatively active. He still records occasionally, his gentle songs and mystic lyrics continuing to inspire. Neil Young, born November 12, 1945, Canadian folk rock icon. At 79, he deals with epilepsy and past polio effects but stays active. He continues releasing albums, his raw voice and activism still driving his artistry. Carlos Santana, born July 20, 1947, Latin rock guitar legend. At 78, he suffered a stage collapse in 2022 due to exhaustion. Now stabilized, he continues touring and recording, his fusion style still enchanting audiences worldwide. Iggy Pop, born April 21, 1947, the godfather of punk. At 78, he bears scars, joint pain, and lasting damage from wild stage antics. Yet he still performs shirtless with raw energy, embodying punk's undying spirit. Dave Davies, born February 3, 1947, guitarist of the Kinks. At 78, he lives with lingering effects from a 2004 stroke. Despite challenges, he continues recording music, proving resilience and survival run deep in rock. Patti Smith, born December 30, 1946, punk poet and rock icon. At 78, she manages arthritis and reduced mobility but still tours. Her performances remain powerful, blending poetry, activism, and raw rock spirit. Robert Plant, born August 20, 1948, legendary Led Zeppelin frontman. At 77, he manages age-related vocal changes but remains strong and passionate. He continues to record and perform worldwide, proving rock energy doesn't fade with age. Thank you for watching. Even in their 80s and beyond, these rock legends still roar with passion, resilience, and timeless energy. Their lives prove that true rock and role never fades. It grows stronger with age. If their journeys moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and share to celebrate their enduring legacy.